Welcome back, everyone. This episode was supposed to be a little bit more exciting than it's going to be. Kind of more of a disappointing episode than it is going to be exciting, but that's all right. We'll get into that here in just a second. We had big plans on going to the Big Coal River, checking that new trail system out, and giving you guys some awesome footage of that. But that trip is going to be on hold. I'll show you why. Yeah, that is not good. Anytime you see the grease, it's a bad sign. You can see where the coupling in the axle bent and ended up ripping the boot up there. So I'll be out of commission for a little while until we get one of those ordered, get it in, get her swapped out, which I'm sure we'll do a video on. But for now, kind of dead in the water. So as you all know, that's just the nature of the beast. If you're going to ride these things, you're going to have maintenance issues, and an axle's a pretty common thing, but I don't have one on hand. This is a low budget operation, so I'm going to have to get one of those ordered, and we'll get her slapped in here, and we'll definitely get back to some of the trail systems and get you some more content of that. But in the meantime, I want to try to keep up with the videos. It'll obviously be me doing some tips and tricks. Hope you all enjoy that. Hopefully you get something out of it. Like I said, I'm just trying to help. So when we get the axle, I'll definitely do a video on putting it in. Not the kind of way I wanted to do it, but that's okay. We'll get a how-to video on that. In the meantime, though, like I say, we'll talk about a few things. I don't believe that I went over the windshield yet in any of the kind of accessory videos. So I think that's what we're going to dive into. I apologize, like I say, that it's not trail footage. And before even the axle gets here, we might go into the woods around here a little bit, because I do need to start cutting some firewood. It's that time of year to where I need to start getting stocked up on it. So if I do get in the woods just a little bit, I'll definitely bring that to you. But on today's episode, let's go ahead and talk about this windshield just a little bit. So the windshield I'm running is a Super ATV poly windshield. It is not glass. It is the tilt windshield. I did order just a cheap manual wiper and put it in the center. It does work really well, keeps her clean. We'll jump inside here and I'll show you. It does tilt. So like I say, it is a tilting windshield. This is your control here. I've got it closed now. You can pop this thing open, and it has another setting for just the little opening to let some air flow through, or you can pop her all the way open and shove her on up to get a lot more air, which is nice with the airflow. In this setting, I will say I am not a big fan of how this mounts. It has riv nuts. You drill the holes, put the riv nuts up through, and then you tighten these down, and you suck the riv nut up to get this sturdy. And I will say, in my opinion, it wobbles a lot. I did cut these little pieces of CPVC and bolted them on, and what I do is I shove them down there, and I got one on that side behind my phone mount there, but put it down in there. And what that does, because what I found going down the road, the air shoving against the windshield would make this gap smaller. It would almost shove it in. So I made these little, like I say, little pieces of CPVC, painted them black just so they'd match, and I shove them in behind the bracket, and that just keeps the windshield from shoving in any farther. I don't ride with it all the way up a lot, but the few times that I have, it does seem to do pretty good. The shocks seem like they're pretty strong. Got pretty good mounts. Ain't had any issues with the mount sliding or anything like that. So all in all, not a bad windshield. Like I say, it is a poly windshield. Wasn't real hard to install. But let's get into kind of my opinion on would I buy it again. So if I had to do it all over again, would I buy this windshield again? Me personally, no. Nothing against Super ATV. I've used a lot of their products. I've always had good luck with them. My only issues with this is poly. For one, I know a lot of people run poly because they don't want to run glass, but the type of riding I do, I really would much prefer a glass windshield. And I've had glass windshield in other buggies before. Keeping them clean, super easy. You ain't got to worry about them getting all scratched up. This poly, you got to watch how you clean it. You do a lot of rubbing on it. Even, I know they say don't add the wiper because it will scratch them, but what are you going to do? When it's out and it's pouring down the rain, I like having the wiper. That's just my opinion. So I don't like the way it mounts to the dash. And maybe that, I installed it myself. Maybe that's the problem. But I did have some issues with it wanting to kind of be a little bit looser. I even went in behind there and put bolts and nuts up through there to hold that thing tighter. But I just feel like where it mounts to that plastic, the plastic is kind of thin there, and it just makes the mount it's not real tight. But anyways, it's not a bad windshield. It's just, I would prefer glass. And so what would be my pick if I was to do another one? Obviously, the factory glass Can-Am windshields are very nice, but they are pricey. And the thing with them is it's a curved glass, right? So if that thing cracks or you get any chips in it, it is very, very expensive to replace. So in some of my other videos, you'll see another Defender that is identical to mine, and it's a good buddy of mine, and he just put on the new Rough Country tilt windshield on his, and I wish I had some footage of it. I don't right now. I will get you some of that in the future, but that windshield looks like it is really legit. It is the way I would go. It has actuators. The actuators are big, they're beefy, it's built nice. The frame is built sturdy. Yeah, it takes up a little bit of space out around to where you can't see, but it's not a lot, honestly. You can still see quite well out of it. And the main thing with it is the glass is flat in it. So if you was to have to get a chip or a crack or something in it, you can take it to the glass store and get it replaced. I mean, it's not like a special order item. It's just looks like a really, really good product. That's definitely the way I would go, is if I was to get, and I probably will eventually here in the near future, which depending on how many axles I got to replace, but that's all right. So my overall pick, if I was to put another windshield in, would be that Rough Country. I'll put a link below to it because it's even the cheapest option, even out there for a glass windshield, which is crazy because it's automatic, it's power. I mean, you can tilt that thing out just a little, middle, wherever you want it, all the way up, doesn't matter. And it seems like on his unit anyways, it's held up really well. Looks like a really good product. So that's kind of, unfortunately, where we're at today. We're done a little windshield talk, but I was hoping, like I say, to get in that big cool river trail system and give you some footage. So that is going to kind of, I'm just going to have to brainstorm a little in the next few videos because, like I said, until I get that axle replaced, old yeller feller is just going to be kept the local. We ain't going to try to ride no big parks and get out there in the middle of the woods somewhere and have that thing go completely out, and then we're trying to run back on 3-wheel drive. So is what it is, but appreciate y'all following along. Like I say, keep liking, keep subscribing. I'll come up with something, and so stay tuned, and hopefully help y'all out and keep this thing rolling along. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you on the next one.